Emily, how are you?
Great. How are
Excellent. Well, we're talking about Bellevue University today, so we'll start with tell me what you do at Bellevue University, if you would, please.
Sure. I am the Assistant Director of Strategic Partnerships.
Okay.
So I help organize a lot of the communication that we create with our corporate division, our Premier Partnership division, military and government, just help to connect those partners that we have with our university and help communicate the benefits.
And why are they so important? Why is that part so important to Bellevue University? Why is it important for you to be up in it with them?
Because I think we're not understood. We're not a traditional institution, right? So many organizations, when they hear that they have partnered with a university, they immediately create a impression of what that might mean. And we're so different than that traditional way that I think it's important for them to understand there's a lot of value to individuals by the organizational partnership that we have.
Real learning for real life is something that we hear a lot with Bellevue University. Why don't you talk to me about that? What does that mean in your job? What does that mean? How do you make that a reality as opposed to just something that sounds cool when somebody says real learning for real life?
I think the benefit that so many, especially of our corporate partnerships, so many individuals who are employees of our partner organizations say is, the learning that I have is not theoretical. It's not something that I'm learning and then I have to figure out how I apply it to my job here in this call center or my job here in this quick serve restaurant. It's more where they can say, okay, that directly relates.
Yeah.
And also the projects that you have within your curriculum are, let's do it within my organization. Look at the challenges, look at the successes. You bring that back to your classmates and your professor, and you're learning, you're applying it right away in the job and immediately impacts.
So are you working closely with the people that you're partnering with? So they're telling you, hey, these are the needs that I have.
Yes.
How does that work? They sit down with you. You guys have many meetings. You have a meeting. How does that happen?
So the great part about that is working with, for instance, a corporate partner when they say these are our goals, these are where our future plans are, strategic goals. How does education play in that with our talent?
Yeah.
So then we sit down with those different division leaders. So it's not only your learning organization within that company, but the operations managers, obviously, they're the ones that are the day-to-day. Right. So then they sit down with our professors or academic leaders, and we map out how that would work. What does that look like within your organization? How does that in an academic way relate to the curriculum? So then we can customize or contextualize the curriculum.
The ability to customize exactly what a company wants. I mean, that isn't that the dream? I mean, right?
Because then again, the individuals understand that this makes sense to me. This is applied right away. But the organization then has that shorter window of having that opportunity, that vision come to reality. And then it's the win for the organization, the win for the individual. But then, the belief is that they can then serve their customers or their patients or their families better when those outcomes come.
I want you to talk about the success stories that have happened, because I know that it's not something you've been doing for a year, just a little while. It's gone on for quite some time, this partnering with these. Talk to me about some success stories in that arena.
Well,
an example of start to finish, how something worked out.
Well, a great example is we originally had a partnership with the Home Depot to build a custom program around retail management. Obviously, that makes sense, right? That many of their individuals. Well, then after the partnership and after the launch of that, there's been a lot of success stories. Then the Home Depot came and said, okay, we want something specific for our department supervisors. They're the ones on the front lines dealing with the individual part-time employees, but also direct contact with your customer base. So we developed a department supervisor program, just a short 2-course program that they could apply right away.
Specifically for Home Depot.
Specifically for Home Depot. So again, your projects, your relevant learning is, within the next week, within your store, try to implement this with your employees and see what happens. That's specific. Wow. And we've had, success stories. An individual who was within a store that wasn't performing so well, got moved or brought into that store that wasn't performing so well, and within 6 months turned it completely around. There's ways to identify so many of the aspects that contributed to that. But his comment was, so much of what I learned I could apply. Again, not real learning for real life.
Right.
And I saw it working. So it just exponentially expanded from there when they discuss with their peers, try this.
Yeah. I think that's interesting that the real learning for life, real learning for real life, you can see it happen on the Home Depot side. I mean, they had a specific need.
Yes.
Can you guys fill that? Yeah, we can fill it. And then you see it work for people. I mean, that's got to be thrilling for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. We talked briefly yesterday and you told me a story.
Sure.
And I would love it. I mean, I thought it was really great. Would you mind sharing that?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
If I can do it without crying.
Yeah. You can cry too. Because if I get a tear.
Well, actually, this was a Verizon story, one of our partners, Verizon. And
also heard of that company.
Yes, maybe. We, at that time, had a call center operations management program. And an individual had come for graduation. It was an accomplishment. So we were interviewing him and learned things like he was the first generation to receive his degree. He was there with his wife and new baby and toddler. And he was telling the story of the program itself, but then it got to a point where he said, I had finished my major, the one that I had originally gone for, and decided that I was going to complete my entire degree. And so there was some elective courses that I needed to do to complete that. But at the same time, his father had gotten ill. And so he'd reached a point where most often adult learners get, I was there too, where, okay, this is kind of hard. I'm at a point where I'm tired. Maybe I want to stop and we'll figure this out at another time. And his student coach said, okay, I don't want you to. I want to try to find the way that we can do this. You're so close to completing it. It's been a goal of yours. Let's find a way. So he found a course that was more enjoyable. It was like history of baseball or something that fulfilled the elective credit. And he's like, if you like baseball, we can make this work. So fast forward again to the graduation point, and he gave so much credit to his student coach for helping him complete that the end was near, and he kept being that cheerleader to push him there. So after the interview was over, I ran into that student coach and said, listen, he's giving you as much credit for his own accomplishment. And the coach was taken aback, and he said, well, yeah, but that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to be there for them. And I said, but take yourself out of your role for a minute and the human aspect of it and see what you did. And so he was crying and the student was crying. And, all of us were emotional because we are just in our paths of life as we go. And it's accomplishment, and we help each other we help them accomplish their goals.
Isn't it great to think that simply doing that person's job changed that person's life profoundly?
Yes.
Yeah.
You talk about that often, and the impact of a smile or, a greeting of some sort. But again, we get into our daily routines and, I don't have a lot of contact with students directly, but I truly believe that little bits of information or opportunity, I'm a part of the whole system, and that little part can make a difference for that person reaching their goal.
That's
life-changing.
Life-changing.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about, I want to talk about the overall experience for somebody who would be a student at, let's just say that I'm going to go back to school.
Okay.
Tell me how Bellevue University would be way different than any other experience I would have previously had. Say I've never done anything online, so all of my experience previous from kindergarten to graduation from college was a professor standing in front of a room.
Yes.
If I was lucky, maybe a lab, right? that I could skip every now and then. I want you to tell me what my experience, if I was apprehensive, if I was, again, like you said, life happens. At this point, it's not like being a student would be my only job. This would be something that would be in addition to my already happening life. Yeah. So talk to me about what Bellevue University does through your eyes, not even necessarily what somebody would tell you to say. But I want you to know, from your perspective, what would that be like for me? How would it be different?
I think primarily the thing that we understand at Bellevue University, from professor to coaches to individuals, is that as adult learners specifically, especially more so, there are those other priorities. And if we would ever have you rank them, we're always, family to job to community efforts to education, albeit a goal, is always going to fall lower in that list. Right. So we help you manage all that, the expectations that we have, equally, and the resources that we provide allow you to meet the priorities higher and still reach the goal that you have. And we are there to say, okay, what are the challenges? They checking in and the professor saying, I understand this is a time, if you had a few more days, would that work? So the online environment especially is one that helps you manage the time And, we always joke and say, well, if my kid has soccer practice on Tuesday nights, that might be a night that doesn't work for you to work on your education or your schoolwork or assignments. But throughout that week, you can find other time to do it and be successful in it.
Just sitting here talking to you, you're clearly passionate about your job. It's not always easy to find that. But everybody that I've talked to, the same look when you see the where does that sparkle come from? I want to know how that happened for you. That the job that you're in, and being at Bellevue University, why this? I mean, look at you. You're beaming talking about it. So tell me, I want to know why.
Well, I had one of those aha moments too, I think. So I did a program at the university. And again, I was personally I did my master's program. And they joke with me often, my teammates, because I'm the sappy one at times. But as I was completing my degree, and again, I'd gone to graduations, I'd helped with graduations, I'd seen these testimonials of individuals who'd finished. And as I was driving to my commencement, it just hit me. This was something that was a goal that I'd accomplished. It wasn't always easy. I had gotten tired. I live education and I live Bellevue University every day. And now I got it. I understood it. And it was very emotional for me. So understanding that and relating to people who go through it, and it's something that I never thought when I was 18 that I'd ever get a master's degree. Right. Now PhD is, a possibility. Scares me a little bit. But relating to them and understanding that's one of the best investments you can make in your life. Yeah. Because it has an immediate return. There's other ones that are longer term, and we make no qualms about buying a house and making an investment in that. But an investment in your education is just the earning potential and your rate of return. All of that is just so much smarter. Right. It's an investment in yourself.
And you get to see that happen time and time again.
Every day.
Well, when you get your PhD, you know you're in the right place, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. As a non-traditional student, or and I'm doing this, I'm talking about all the things going on in my life. Specifically, what are the things that are offered by Bellevue University to make that easier? I don't know if easier is the right word.
Richer.
Yeah. Expand on that for me, if you would.
When we have partnerships with corporations, we don't always promote degree programs as the only thing that's offered through Bellevue University. So individuals might have specific skills that they feel they need. And so there might be certificate programs within that, the power skills as we call them. Or, we even so far, I always talk about it on a spectrum where I need something to gain tomorrow. So that might be a webinar or a professional development type of event. So we offer a variety of career development resources throughout our partnerships. So again, it might be in this world of now having to become virtual. Yes. How do you work from home and become productive? How do you lead a team that's now virtual and keep them engaged and well and healthy and productive? Right. So we've created what we call Take 10 learning breaks. So it's just 10 minutes, a little bit of information of what we've learned throughout our years of serving a virtual world in our educational programs, but little things that we recommend to the students, employees, or to the leaders toward those employees. We bring in subject matter experts that can help individuals understand leadership or communication, and it may be for professors, it may be someone out in the industry that's an expert that we can help bring that insights and curriculum, not always in the for-credit world, to provide to them through webinars or white papers or anything that may be beneficial to what they're doing daily.
I mean, that's just fantastic to have that ability to be able to, I have this specific need. We have this. And as you're seeing people scramble, I think is the word we've been using today, to try to figure out what to do in this virtual world that we currently are forced to live in. You guys are already well ahead of the curve. So. And
it's been interesting to me that I think we're so ingrained in it at times. I've thought, well, this makes sense to people how to do this. But we've had so many people reach out and say, you've been the expert in this area. Can you help us in here? Right. Help us, again, engage them and make sure they're productive and meeting the needs of our customers, and something simple as an hour conversation with tips can really benefit them. And that's rewarding and surprising at times.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm sold on it. Right? I love everything, but of course there's still going to be people who And again, as we've talked about, why would you do that? You don't have time to do that. Yet, and very simply, why Bellevue University?
I think we're just so innovative in understanding the needs of a different group of people. There's opportunity, there's goals, there's dreams that adult learners have.
Yeah.
And we can help you find that in whatever manner it is. It isn't black and white all the time.
Right.
And so from our partnerships to say it's not just a management program, but it can be a contextualized management program that is richer and deeper. And then serving the needs of the employees is different than serving the needs of traditional students who, when education is their job, in this case it's other priorities, and Bellevue University gives you that relevant learning, applied learning, and all the services and support to help you succeed.
Corporate partners, when they partner with Bellevue University, just give me an example of what they're looking for. What are they looking to develop? What are they providing for their people that are going to participate in the program? Just walk me through that a little bit, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, and that's as varied as the organization too, right? There's a lot of different types of organizations. So many are looking at education as an opportunity to recruit, develop their individuals, and that ties into tuition assistance benefits as well. So if they can differentiate themselves from other quick serve restaurants as an organization that offers tuition assistance, then that person seeking a job might choose that one.
Right.
But then there's also the opportunity for them to develop individuals. We had an organization that we worked with that was a quick serve, and they saw an opportunity for them to retain employees through education longer. So they have this employee pool that may not look at quick serve as their long-term goal for a career, but in the time that they had them, if we can develop them, they likely will stay with us longer. And then when they choose to leave our organization, that they have bettered themselves and we have contributed to society in helping that person go on to their next role. They may be a nurse, or they may, go on to get a master's degree and work in a scientific field, or whatever that may be. Organizations also see that developing their individuals then provides that opportunity for people to self-select, to say, I'm interested in working with my organization. You're investing in me. I see my future with you, and gaining this knowledge and these skills will help me grow in my career and help you as the organization to give back for your investment in me through tuition assistance and belief.
Yeah, that's great. I also want to talk to you about who is Bellevue University for? We've talked a lot about MBAs, and we've talked, bachelor's degrees. What does that look like for somebody, and who is that for? What is that student? What does that person look like? Not look like physically. Just describe to me, give me, I don't know exactly what I'm trying to say, but talk me through whatever I just gave you there.
I think Bellevue University is for individuals who identify what their career growth is, or their career path. And a lot of organizations that have the belief that they have employees that already have degrees. So often in HR, a bachelor's degree or experience. And more often, I think, if statistics show, I would think that the experience brings them in the door.
Right.
So it's something that individuals always say, I want to get that degree. It's going to help me with the job or movement and the personal goal itself. So a lot of organizations that we work with over 80 corporate partners. Many of them are looking at, let's look at custom degrees or contextualized degrees, or just something we recommend that will help the individuals grow within the organization. And that often is an undergraduate degree. And then many people, once they realize they can do it and they found opportunity perhaps, then that master's is something that's not so far away. Or, it is something that comes to the front of, okay, maybe I can do this. And then that benefits them and the organization with that advanced knowledge.
I think it's so great how, you think online learning, and of course the first thing you think of is, it seems very cold, It's like I'm going to be watching, but that's not what anybody describes as we're talking. And that is, I think that's for everybody. And I think that's pretty fantastic.
I think it brings forth, I'm not a confrontational person,
Yeah.
but in the online environment, I was empowered to challenge people You say this is ethical, but what if you had to do this? And maybe that screen or that opportunity
Interesting.
provides. But it also creates such a rich environment too, that we have people that I completed my cohort in 2005, and we still have a group that periodically meets. We still, have FaceTime meetings, and we reach out to, can you look at my resume and give me suggestions? We just are still a strong cohort. We spent 18 months of blood, sweat, and tears together.
But not together.
But not together.
I think it's great that you still said together, though. Yeah. Wow. That's awesome.
That's
That's
powerful.
That's powerful, for sure. Thank you.